I'm Dan Galusha, and welcome to another edition of Dan's Fishing Tales. It's that time of the year, you know, when you kind of get housed in the winter and you're dreaming about what you're going to be doing in open water fishing. Well, I'm working on some tackle is what I'm doing, and that's usually what you guys are doing too. And trying to rearrange those messed up tackle boxes and all that sort of stuff. Well, what we're going to do is kind of a series here a little bit about the different types of tackle I'm going to be using this year and the new stuff, because I've got quite a few new things, and some of it's a little bit older, but you really don't know what I've used it for before. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to be, in this particular segment, we're going to be talking about the rods and reels, because I have purchased a bunch of them. They haven't all been sent. I'll tell you which ones have been sent to me, because you know I promote for B&M. And the B&M stuff, yes, and that's all my spinning. And we're going to start off with those first. And one of them that I don't have with me in here, though, is the Russ Bailey 8-foot rod. That's a crappie rod. Most of their stuff is targeted towards crappies. And, well, they have a series of the catfish ones like Dylan Lawson and Bo Brady use, the Catfish Cowboys. But they've got mainly the crappie, trout, and bluegill type stuff. Really not bass, but I use it all for bass, and you know that. So we're going to start out with, like I said, that Russ Bailey is really a panfish rod for me. That one I do use for that, and I'll use it with a float and like a custom jigs and spins ice fishing jig basically under it. I'd love to use the Tutsos and the wolf finkies underneath those. Those are the tungsten weighted ones, and I'll put something rather like some of the real small Z-Man micro finesse underneath there. Like I said, float them with a float. A Mr. Crappie weighted float is what I use, and I like it. I'm not crazy about the slip floats. I don't know. I've had too many problems with those. Anyhow, that's what I do with the Russ Bailey rod, and I don't have that one here to show you, but I do have this one, and this is the 75 series, and you can see it's a 7-foot rod. I'll probably be jamming it in here, and I've got the boot on it. We'll get rid of that. There's the reel right there, and it's right now I'm trying something different. You know, I've always used nanofill line on these, and I've used it a lot. Well, that's a one-piece rod too, by the way, and I've used that for finger jigging. Definitely a good finger jigging rod. The 4-inch finesse worms that I've used as far as Z-Man and natural forage baits, yeah, that works great for that sort of stuff. But like I said, the line that I've got on this is a 8-pound test, and it's an X9. It's put out by Berkley. I've got two different types of line that I'm using this year. Berkley, which I've used for years, and the Kastking King. Then I've got a bunch of Kastking King outfits too I'm going to be showing you, but that's coming in just a little bit. First, we're getting through all of these things with the B&M. Now this is a B&M reel on this, in fact. It's a Pro 100. Matches up very, very nice. This is a TCB. Now this stands for trout, crappie, and bluegill. I've called it bass before, and you know why. Because see right here, this is one of my favorite combinations to use on this particular rod. It's a split grip, as you can see right here, down here. And this has got 10-pound test nanofill on it. It's got the brighter colored one. But this, like I said, this is my favorite combination of this. Yes, it works good for finesse worms, but I do a little bit different. This is a Blitz finesse jig, one of my favorites, and you've seen me fish this before. We're going to be doing it again in the open water season. We'll talk about it more. This has got a 4-inch finesse worm. This particular one happens to be a natural forage bait. I'll probably be trying one of the Z-Man ones on here too. That's what I use that one for, and that is I think it's a 6, is it? You know, I can't even remember. 6'6", that's what it is, 6'6". Now this next one, depending on which one I got my Sam Heaton down here. That was what I was trying to find, and you can see it right here. It's got kind of a split grip down in here on this, but I really like this. This is a Sam Heaton Super Sensitive. It's fantastic for finger jigging, and you can see I've already got my rig here with my natural forage bait. And this one happens to be the fat shad. Now I use the T-shad and the fat shad. This one's a little bit fatter, so it's called fat shad. The line on this is 10-pound test nanofill, and this is the greenish colored one. This is a B&M B&M rod or reel on it. And as far as the head here, I go with a Bee Fishing head, Bee Fishing tackle. This is the H2O head. I really like these because it has just a single wire barb in there as a keeper on it. It's not one of these collars, because you get some of these collars, it'll split the bodies out. But this is mainly what I use this rod for, is finger jigging. It is excellent for that. And finger jigging, if you don't know what that is, well, you're going to have to look up at the other video that we've got, because we got probably about 3 or 4 finger jigging videos here on the channel. So take a look at that. Now here's the next one I've got. And this one is called a crappie wizard. It's also in the 7-foot range. I think this one's about 7'6", if I remember right. Yeah, it's 7'6". And these are all 2-piece except for that 75 series. That's a 1-piece. But you can see this one here. It's set up again. I've got a B&M reel on it, and I keep banging everything into the ceiling here because of the height of it. This, I use it for usually something like a finesse worm. It's just got a stiffer action to it. It's not like you would think on a crappie rod. Now I will use this if I'm going along real close and brush and I am fishing for like panfish, like the crappies and bluegills and that sort of thing. I will dip a jig down in for those with that. And that I'll use. But otherwise for my bass, I've found that works very well for, like I said, 4-inch finesse worms. Again, we're back to the finesse part. But with that one, I kind of like to use it with a Bee Fishing, the H2O head I showed you like that, and the 4-inch worm. And do the finesse style with that rather than a Texas rig with that one. I know it sounds kind of odd that I do that with it, but I don't know, there's just something about it. The way that it works, because I can also, with that, it's not the greatest of finger jigging rods, but it will work with that worm, and it'll kind of make the tail go like that when I'm finger jigging. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get some of the casting rods, and I got a lot more of them than because I got like 2 of each one, and I'll explain that. So let me go pick those up, get rid of these, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with my Kastking stuff. Now, I bought a mess of this stuff because some of my old Garcia stuff was starting to wear out, and the rods were outdated. They really weren't the same as, these were ones that I'd used in tournaments and TV shows and the whole works. They have been over my 50-plus years in this business. They got used pretty hard. I've got Shimano's even that I've had. Because the first team I was ever on was Ryobi. A lot of you may remember the Ryobis, and I know some of you call it Ryobi, but I can remember a gentleman at the now called ICAST, at that time it was called AFTMA show. Somebody called it Ryobi, and he was way up in the company. He jumped up and he says, "It's Ryobi, Ryobi, read the box," because right on the box they put Ryobi on that. Anyway, that's kind of a side story on what happened at one time. Like I said, that was a long time ago. That was back in the 70s. Anyway, this is one of them right here. I'm really anxious to try these, and why I'm showing them to you is because that's what we're going to be doing. As the season progresses, I'm going to let you know how these things actually perform. And the line I have on this, and here's the nice thing too, along with the reels, this is a Kastking Sharky 3. This one right here, I don't know if I can get around here that I don't break the thing. You see that label right there? Okay, they send those with the reels. Now, they won't stick on the reel though. They will stick down here, and you can put your pound test, what sort of line you have, and the date. And I can remember back in the days when I'd get like bulk spools from Berkeley when I was sponsored by them, and they would send a whole bunch of labels in there. That's how they package them. I don't know if they still do that or not, because I haven't had one of their bulk spools in years. But anyway, this comes with the reels, and you get like about 4 or 5 of them, and you can put them on well, as I said, this is the best spot, and I didn't really realize that until after I'd put some of them up in here, but that actually will be the best spot to have it. Again, this has got 14-pound test XL, Berkeley XL on it. I will be using this as a 7-foot 3-rod. It's what they call a Royal Advantage. It matches the reel, as you can see. And if you want a matching outfit, this would be perfect. Sharky 3 with this rod. And I'm going to be using this probably for in the boat when I'm doing crankbaits. So that, and I don't know, I might carry it otherwise, and we'll be talking about carrying the stuff later. Here's the shorter rod that I've got. This is a 6-foot. This is the shortest one I got. This is a matching outfit, as you can see. Reel, rod, they're both white and black. And this particular reel is called a Cryax. And the rod's got the same name. And I've got, again, I can look right here. I know what I got. I got 14-pound test on it. And that is Trilene XL as well. And this is spinnerbait, and that's what I'm going to be using it for. I got 2 of these. And then one's going to be used for spinnerbait. The other one's going to be for swimming a jig. And it'll probably be a Blitz swim jig. Now here's one that's a Resolute. Oh, and by the way, the reel on it, well, I told you all about the reel on that one. But here, I got several of these reels because I got a heck of a deal on them. And they are lightweight, extremely lightweight. They're only 4.5 ounces. They got a gear ratio of 8.1 to 1. And ball bearings, I think around 11 or 12. I mean, this ought to be just absolutely super. I've just been kind of playing around with it where I can. This particular one, well, we'll take a look again. And I think I got on this one I got 12-pound test. And this is the 12-pound test, again, Trilene XL. I've got some 12 in the, like I said, I've got some of the Kastking, which I told you earlier, I got their line. But this is a Trilene. As you can tell, I've already got rigged with a Pro X hook. And so this one's going to be used for worm fishing. Yeah. And I've got 2 of those, by the way. And the other one will be used for, oh, I don't know, some sort of jig fishing, swim bait, for one thing. My little larger natural forage bait swim bait, I'll be using it for that. Now, let's see. Here's another one. This is another 7-foot 3 rod. And by the way, this one over here was a 6.6, that Resolute rod that I just showed you with that. And then, by the way, that reel, his name is Assassin. One of the reasons I got it. Why? Well, those of you that watch Shoot and Plank may have heard that I was nicknamed Assassin by a gentleman from China because of the way I throw my knives. And so Assassin kind of picked up, and I thought, what the heck, I'm going to get reels that are Assassin. Maybe that's why I bought so many. That and the fact they're so lightweight and nice. Now, this particular reel, this one's a different one. This is one of the Royal reels that they have. And this, I put it on the Royal Advantage rod, and as you can see, it's got the red. It matches really nicely with this thing. And I've got a jig on it. So I'm going to be jig fishing. This is actually going to be my flipping and pitching rods. And folks that know me know that I have always used shorter rods for flipping and pitching, especially pitching. And this is 7.3, the same type as we got down there. And I've got the Kastking King line on it. It is the 25-pound braided line that they have. And this is a super braid. And I'm really anxious to try this out, see how that works. And that's what that one's going to be for. Let's see. This one over here. Okay, now this is another one with one of our Assassin reels, so we won't talk too much about that. This particular one has the Kastking King mono on it. Now this is supposed to be, I think they call it Superior mono or something like that. This has got 10-pound test. This will be my long distance rod, and you'll notice you probably can't even see this line because it's black. You can't really see that stuff. This is a 7'6" rod. It's the what they call a perigee. That's the name of the rod. They got some odd names with their rods. And again, it's got the Assassin reel on it. This is going to be for my long distance casting with crankbaits. I'll probably be using this with 2 basic things. The Bill Lewis Fishing crankbaits, the build ones, but mainly the rattle trap And then when I'm using my blades, a Blitz blade, of course. And this 10-pound test ought to just do great for that. And like when I'm shoreline fishing, which of course I do a lot of, and makes it a lot easier to do videos a lot of times from the shore, and I can change things around real quick too. But anyway, this will definitely be for that, to make my real long casts like I do. Because I had those other rods, those 8.5 foot rods, still got them. May use those at some point, but if that 7.6 works, no, because this is a lot lighter too. And I've got 2 of those. And the other one is, that has got a braid on that. That has 15-pound test braid on that one. And again, that's the Kastking. Now this one, we got a little bit different story here. Again, it's got an assassin reel on it. But this is an extremely light rod. It is not a Kastking. I got a heck of a deal on it too, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to get that. I got to. It's a medium action, fast tip, and it's a light, or actually it's not a medium action, I'm wrong there. This is a light action. That's why I got it, because I wanted to use it for finesse baits. I mean, this rig, you just would not believe how this thing is. The name of it, I got some oddball named rods and reels, I'll tell you. This one is a Magic Soul. And then, like I said, it's teamed with the Assassin. And then again, I got the down here, and I got 12-pound test on this. And it's what they call a finesse line. It's finesse 12-pound test. It's like they put all these ratings, like that one that we had there that was the earlier one I showed you, the B&M rod, the 75 series. I had X9 on that. This is an X13 line. So this is really a you know, it's a light line. It's gonna be interesting to see how I do with this. It almost feels like mono, but it is a braid, a very, very light braid, and I've already got a Z-Man finesse swim bait on there, and that's what I'm planning on using this for, finesse baits. Now, another one that I got coming in, which I'm going to show you in a separate video, that one is being sent to me, and like I do with my B&M stuff. The company here, the Handing Company, Handing Fishing is what they're called. They're sending me one of their Magic Shadow rods with a reel that's, it's a very simple name, Long Cast. They don't make very many casting reels. They make 2 casting reels that I know of. One of them is strictly for beginners, and the other one is what they're sending me, the Long Cast. And I have no idea what they're going to look like, but that's what we're going to be having to show you later on. Anyhow, wanted to kick this all off by showing you what we're going to be using again, and it's going to be different, and we're going to be reviewing all of this stuff that we have that's new, and you'll see it along the line when we're going to be fishing. And you're not going to be fishing out there yet. We got about 2 foot of snow on the ground, a little more than 2 foot of snow. And we've been having some 30, 40 below wind chills. And like I said, this is the ideal time that you'd be doing this. Imagine a friend of mine, Doug Pfeiffer, and his girlfriend, Karen Ammons. I imagine they're messing around with their tackle right now, dreaming of their trip that they take in June. And I also take one around August or September, up north into Minnesota at a lake that's probably got so doggone much ice. You definitely can't dream much about open water there. Anyway, he always does this with his tackle box and all that sort of stuff. And I'm going to be showing you some tackle too. I just got a shipment of Z-Man stuff, and show you what I'm going to do there, and also give you some tips on fishing with the Fatty Z that I have. But again, that's going to be another video. So until next time, get out on the water and enjoy a great day of fishing.